Let's talk about resetting your business. So this is a reset that you can do at any time of the year. I am filming this in the summer because typically in December, January, we're very fired up, we're excited, we've got the new year ahead of us. By the time it gets to be the summer, either we have completely fallen off or things have gotten in the way or life has just been lifing and we don't feel as connected to our goals as we used to. And then it kind of like dips through, and then maybe by like November we're hyping ourselves back up again. But I like to do a mid-year reset because a mid-year reset is basically preventing that dip that a lot of business owners go through. If you have also noticed this pattern in your life overall, I just posted a video on how to reset your life, basically a mid-year life reset. And so I definitely recommend checking that out. But this is going to be for my entrepreneurs. With all of that being said, I want to acknowledge in the summertime, a lot of people are traveling, we're taking breaks. I just took 2 weeks off. So I'm not saying you have to be grinding and just like overly productive all summer long, but I want you to stay connected to your vision and connected to your goals. And I want you to be thinking intentionally about how you're going to continue to move your business forward and how you're going to continue to make a difference, even if you are going to physically be working less. So with that being said, I want you to grab a journal. I love journaling. These videos are essentially just guided journal sessions. And if at any point you want to dig into a question right away, then go ahead and pause the video, set a little timer on your phone for like 3 minutes, do the journal prompt right as I'm talking, and then come back. You can light a candle, you can get some water, maybe make a little mood with some music, and you also can just listen to me in the background. If you're cooking, if you're cleaning, if you're driving, whatever, you don't need to stop and do this right this second. Let the questions wash over you if you are listening on the go, but I would recommend making sure that you can come back and answer them because that's how you're actually going to get the best results from a video like this. So let's make it interactive. The first thing I want you to really sit with and look at in your business is what is the story that you are telling yourself about this year so far. So a lot of times we will tell ourselves stories about how we're showing up. Maybe we tell ourselves we're not showing up enough, or we tell ourselves we are burning out and working too hard. The story is going to be different for everyone, but what are the stories you're telling yourself about how you've been showing up in your business? And what are the stories you're telling yourself about how much money you have made in your business so far? And it's important to check in with that before we do the next question. The next question is, what are the facts? So how much money have you made so far this year? A lot of business owners, money is coming in, money is going out. We don't always take time to pull up and look at like, what is the actual financial status of our business? So just pull it up. How much have you made so far this year? And if it is challenging, if you are taking money here, there, and everywhere, and you don't have a centralized way to check, then add that to your list of things that you want to do by the end of the year is get your money streamlined. So for example, I don't allow clients to pay me any way other than Stripe. So that way I can just pull up Stripe and see all of the money that I've made in one place. I was recently working with a client who was taking Venmo, Cash App, all kinds of payments here and there. And then when I was asking her, like, how much money have you made? She had no idea. And this is really crucial as business owners. We want to just make it obvious to ourselves how much we're making. And if you are taking payments from a lot of different payment processors and sources, then it is up to you to track that. So it's not that you need to say, like me, I only take money over Stripe. You can take money from however you want to take it, but you do need to actually keep track of how much you're getting from each different place. And this mid-year reset is a good time to go and add it all up if you haven't already. So what are the facts? How much have you made? And then what are the facts in terms of how you've been showing up? So what have you actually created? What have you accomplished? What have you done? If your business is based on internet marketing and creating content, how much content have you put out there? You can actually look and see like, okay, I have posted 75 podcast episodes this year or whatever it might be. I'm just making numbers up. But look at what you've done. And if you're not on the internet, maybe you meet your clients at networking events or at conferences or something. How many marketing activities have you actually done? How many events have you hosted? How many events have you attended? How many pitches have you put out into the world? How many invoices have you sent out? Like, get a way to actually understand what you have been doing and how much you have been doing versus just staying with the story in your head of I'm doing a lot or I'm not doing a lot or I'm doing too much or I'm not doing enough or whatever it might be. Just look point blank. What have I done in my business this year? And this doesn't have to be exhaustive. You don't have to write down every single action that you've taken, but I want you to actually take at least like 5 minutes to sit there and acknowledge, like, these are the steps I have taken this year to grow my business. This is what I have done to invest time, energy, money, focus into growing my business, into finding new clients, into serving my current clients too. Like, how many orders have you fulfilled? How many sessions have you done? What have you actually put into the world as a business owner? Get that all on paper so that you can see it. And then from there, we're in a really good position to zoom out and just look at what's working well in your business so far this year. So let's say you have, signed 20 new clients. I don't know what kind of business you have, so I'm just using general numbers. But let's say you've signed 20 new clients. What's working? So where did those clients come from? Did you meet them in person? Did you meet them online? Did they watch a YouTube video of yours? Did they listen to your podcast? Like, what worked to actually help you make those clients happen? So that's one aspect, what's working in terms of what's helping you make money. And then you also can look at what's working in terms of what are you proud of? What are you excited about? What's working in terms of helping you actually show up? So for example, do you film best in the morning or at night? Do you get your best work done over the weekend or during the week? Like, what works well for you as a business owner? And I want you to make a list of at least 10 things that are working in your business so far or that have worked in your business this year. And so again, what's working in terms of helping you make money? What's working in terms of how you work best? What's helping you show up? And then what are some things that you're proud of in your business? And make that list. I like 10 because 10 is a pretty exhaustive list, but it's not so overwhelming. Like, if you sit there and challenge yourself, you will be able to come up with 10 things. And then once you've made your list of your 10 things that are working, we're going to shift gears and look at what's not working. And so no matter what, every business has some things that are working and some things that could be improved. And especially here, we want to look at what's in our control that we can actually change. So this isn't saying, on a list of what's not working, my client doesn't answer my text messages or whatever. That's your client. Your client is in your client's control. You have no control over whether or not your client answers your text messages. So what's not working that's in your control? And so whatever comes up is perfect. I want you to come up with 3 things and 3 things only based on what's in your control. You might have to make a list of things that aren't working in general and then narrow it down to only things that are in your control. But I want you to just look at like what's not working that's in your control. And for those of you who have chronic illnesses or mental health challenges or just things that are going on in your body or in your mind that have made it challenging to show up the way you want to in your business, I also want you to acknowledge that. So what's not working could be, for example, I was just on the phone with a client yesterday who was experiencing some mental health challenges because they're on a new medication. So that could be on the list of what's not working. And the reason I'm saying put this on the list is because even though this might feel out of your control, I want you to just acknowledge that this is something that you have the power to change. We don't have the power to change other people's behavior. We don't have the power to change what anyone outside of us does. But if you acknowledge, okay, I'm on this new medication, it's giving me some mental health challenges, and that's making it hard for me to show up in my business, that is something that you can then work on solving for yourself using the resources available to you. So that can also totally be on your list of things that aren't working, just things that you have the power to change, okay? So from there, once you have your list of 3 things that are not working that you have the power to change, I want you to look at what are the adjustments that you need to make by the end of the year. So, for example, with this medication thing, maybe you need to have a conversation with your doctor. Maybe you need to explore alternative medications that don't have the same side effects. Or maybe you need to start figuring out how you can still show up even with the mental health challenges that this medication is creating for you. So that doesn't mean push through and force yourself. But one of the concepts that I bring to my clients is this idea of a workaround. So this is the condition that we're in. It's not ideal. We don't like it. We also don't know when we're going to get out of it. So how can we work around it? And again, everyone's circumstance is so different. And so in a general video like this, that's not something that I can really help you with personally. But if you do want personalized support, I actually offer free coaching consultations. And that is a space for us to really go through what has been making it hard for you to hit your goals. And we can start to come up with some of those workarounds together on the call. And then, of course, if you love your free consultation and you want to work with me privately for a long time, then we can also talk about what it looks like to become a client on that consultation. So if you're interested in any of that, I will leave that link down below. But back on scripted video. So what's not working, and then what are the adjustments that you need to make by the end of the year? And this is a promise that you're making to yourself. So really think about it as, by the end of this year, I will solve this issue using the resources and using everything that I have available to me. So we can even go back to the example I gave earlier of like, if you are not tracking your money and you have no idea how much money you're making, that's something that you can solve by the end of the year. And it's definitely feasible, but you just need to name it and you need to focus on it. So now that we know what adjustments you're making, we are going to close out this mid-year reset session by setting some goals. So how much money do you want to make by the end of the year? And what are some things that you want to accomplish in your business by the end of the year? So maybe you want to go to 5 networking events, or maybe you want to post 100 times. I'm just coming up with things that could be cool for your business, but you want to sit with yourself and think about like, what are some things that you want to accomplish by the time this year ends? And then of course, as a business, it is crucial for you to name how much money do you want to make by the end of the year. And if you want to learn more about this type of goal setting, I actually have a podcast episode. It's episode 170 of the You 2.0 podcast. And there I talk about 2 types of goals for your business. So there are the outcome goals, which is like, I want 5 clients or I want to make $100,000. And then there are the process goals, which are the goals that you have in terms of how you want to show up in your business so that you can actually accomplish the outcomes that you want. Go through the process of creating some goals that are going to guide you throughout the rest of this year. To help you get the most out of this mid-year reset, I have a couple things I want to name. I have a free productivity and habits guide that I'm going to link down below. If you know that you want to get more done in your business, or if you want to just have better habits in terms of how you show up for your business, this is going to be so supportive for you. It is actually one of the newer guides that I've created, and it is one of the most popular guides that I have. So I know that you are going to love it, and I'm going to link that down below. It's a PDF. There's journal prompts. There's just steps for you to take for how you can create routines and habits in a way that actually sticks and that actually moves you forward towards your goals. And then the second thing that I want to name is that I have a free marketing cheat sheet. It's another PDF, and it is really giving you all the ideas for how you can market your business and get in front of your dream clients and your dream customers over the course of a 12-month period. But you can actually take this and customize it to whatever works for you. So if you want to shrink it down and look at a 6-month period, or if you want to stretch it out and look at a 3-year period, just use this guide to get a handle on what your business is going to look like and what you're going to do to actually get in front of people and create new clients as your business grows. Okay, so we've got our journal guide for habits, productivity, and routines. We've got our marketing cheat sheet, episode 170 of the You 2.0 podcast, and then of course, coaching consultations. So if this spoke to you and you want to have a one-on-one conversation with me about your personal goals, where you want to be, the challenges that you're running into, let's make it happen. So I'm going to leave the link to my calendar down below. I do free 1-hour consultations. And then if you are loving what you got in the consultation and you want to become a long-term client of mine, then we can also discuss that on the consultation call as well. Okay, that is all I have for you today. I love you so much, and I will see you again soon in another video. Mwah. Take care.